I've been quite literally homeless before, had no home. Getting what you want in life is actually not that hard, especially if it's been done before. I'm gonna give an example from one of my friends. They were out of money, but they really wanted Whataburger for lunch. They sent me a message and said, can I borrow $30? I get paid on Thursday, but I really want this Whataburger. And I was like, sure. Gave them $30 and then they got their Whataburger. Now, technically, they shouldn't have been able to do that. They were one conversation away from getting that they wanted. I guess that one is like contingent upon friends having a couple of dollars that they can lend you. When you sit down, decide that you want something, you figure out how to get it, which lets you know that it's actually doable the whole time. But I think a lot of times people like for things to be hard, or they like to tell themselves that things are harder than they are. It gives them reason to not accomplish that thing. The man was walking down the street and hears a dog crying. He looks over and he sees a dog on the porch. So he goes to the porch, knocks on the door, and says to the man, your dog is crying. And that man's like, yeah, I know. He's sitting on a nail. The man that was walking says, like, why doesn't he get up? Then the man at the door said, because it doesn't hurt bad enough yet. Do you see where I'm going with this? Before there's pain, before you're crying, things don't hurt bad enough. It's doable the whole time. There's just something within you, like that flips or switches or whatever. And you realize, I need to take action on my goal if I want this thing to happen. If you could get yourself to flip that switch a little bit sooner, you could have anything you want a lot sooner. A lot of times when you want something, you don't have everything you need. You just have to identify what you need. And in order to identify what you need to know what you want. You have to be brave enough to say, I want this thing. Because if you don't ever do that, then you won't ever look to what it takes to get that thing. Does that make sense? First, identify what you want and then figure out people who have that thing. What did they do to get that thing? And then you do what they do. Well, they're different. Their circumstances are different. Our circumstances are not always all that different. Yes, they are sometimes, but like if you go and look, there's going to be grains of similarity that you can latch onto. There are ways to have similar situations as other people. And if you understand what it took to get there with their circumstances, you might be able to, adjust what you need based on what your circumstances are. But you don't have to follow someone's exact path. In fact, it's going to look different. It's going to look different, and just be ready for that. But if you start with where they are, you're already way farther ahead. It's about having the wherewithal to go out into the world and find what you need. If you want something, you will have it, period. So admit you want the thing, then you go find some people who have that thing that you say you want. And after you find those people, you take inventory of what they say they did. Take a consensus of like what a bunch of people said. I like to go to like 5 people who have what I want. And also, you don't need to know people. Like, you can go on YouTube and look at the day in life. What are these people doing? Do what they're doing. Like, that's how you get that thing. Having what you want is so doable, and you deserve to have the life that you say that you want, because I know it's so possible. If anyone knows it's possible, like, it's going to be me. I've had nothing across multiple fronts before, and I have more today than those days. I've had everything I've wanted, I've found. I feel like this is a lesson I learned because I've been quite literally homeless before, had no home. I've had no money to my name. I've had no friends. And every single time I've decided I want friends, I want money, I want to know people, I want this reality, all I had to do was like admit it to myself and allow it to hurt. Allow myself to deeply desire that thing and say like, I want that, and I'm willing to admit that. And then I went out into the world, went to Google, went to YouTube, found what those things took. Like, what does it take to be a good friend? And I started learning those tools and implementing them when I was meeting people who I wanted to be friends with, or how do I make money? And was like looking at ways that I wanted to make money and seeing how people were doing it, who were doing the things that I wanted to do. And then I just did what they did. Working hard is always going to produce a result. Working even smarter than you've always worked is going to give you like better results. Do you see what I'm saying? And I didn't find, based on things I already had in my back pocket, the only thing I had in my back pocket was my desire to go figure out what those things took. So admit you want the thing, just figure out what that thing needs from you, put it out into the world, and it's yours. So anyway, I hope that that resonated. I hope that that made sense. I hope this just wasn't just a random ramble, but you know what? Have a happy day. Bye.